Oh, it feels like Christmas morning. It truly does. What's good, everybody? Welcome into your daily sports betting brand of record. We like to call it the Early Edge. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not close. Hopefully, you have prepared yourself. Hopefully, you are set, because officially it starts today, week one of college football. And how about EC? He was on an absolute chiller. But you know when college football starts, he's right back into the 3-0 day, AB 2-1, lose a little juice. But you can't ruin my good morning, because today, all over CBS Sports HQ, it's going to be the Early Edge Day. That's what we do at 6 o'clock. Take the bass out of your voice. Tom Fernelli, Kenny White, Chip Patterson. Then at 8 o'clock, I will be hosting again. Hopefully, you watched last night, because we cashed at least 3 or 4 tickets live on the show. Then EC will join me. Zach Attack and Chip Patterson will talk live betting, college football, all the stuff as we get set for a huge, huge weekend in college football. So let's bring in the stars of the show. You know them. You love them. And I have 3 of my absolute very best. On a day like today, look who's back. While the rest of us have been grinding, while the rest of us have been working, boys, what about coming back from Portugal? You got that extra button undone, got the whole thing. So, Danny Brasco, you get the 15 seconds today. How was your trip?
Wow, thank you, Coach, for that warm welcome. It was fantastic. I'm feeling rejuvenated, refreshed, still kind of in vacation mode, transitioning out, but I'm ready to start cashing tickets again. We got UFC fights to talk about, and I'm really happy to be back with you guys.
And this man is always in our good graces, because while other people say, I'm going to take a vacation for the entire summer, Danny sent in picks while he was on vacation from Portugal and then apologized because he didn't know about the time difference. That's next level capping right there. Next level capping right there. Now, let's jump right into it. Today, we're going to play a little game we like to call Dog of the Day. Now, here's what we're looking at. On a Thursday, there is day baseball today. The Tigers, very slight against the Yankees. The Dodgers against the Braves. Dodgers have been on fire. I've just been cashing late-night tickets with them every single day. Giants, dogs to the Padres as they start that series. Very important for them. And the Nationals, dogs in Miami. I have a very special announcement concerning buckets, and I'll get to that after this segment. Sniper, I know you want to know about buckets, but I need you to focus right now on the dog of the day.
I've lost focus because I'm just worried about what you're going to say about buckets. I'm so interested. No, for real. I'll go with the Dodgers here. They had no travel. The Braves might be a little road weary here. This is the back end of a 3-leg road trip here. But the Dodgers really 24-4 this month. They're at home. Spencer Strider on the mound for the Dodgers or for the Braves. So that does benefit the Braves, at least in the early innings, but I like this Dodgers offense at home, especially in the late innings. And keep in mind, Lance Lynn, 2.03 ERA since joining the Dodgers.
I wonder when the last time, Sniper, it was that the Dodgers were a home dog ever this year. I don't know if it's happened this year.
I'm sure it has, but few and far between.
Yeah, few and far.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
You almost feel like you have to take them as a dog, no matter who's on the mound. It almost feels like you have to. Counselor, do we have to?
No, we don't have to. And I do think it's appropriate that Sniper said in the early innings, it might be a tough go for the Dodgers with Strider on the mound, perhaps a little foreshadowing. Another bit of foreshadowing with somebody else's pick. I like the Nationals here at plus 135. And I think the pitching matchup is solid. The last time the Nationals faced Garrett, they roughed him up pretty good. Adon's been pretty good. I think one other one to consider is the Detroit Tigers. At home, Matt Manning has been impressive over his last 3 starts. It might be a little bit of smoke and mirrors, but he's been good. Clark Schmidt's been okay as well, but I think the Tigers are live to win this thing.
All right, so a lot of good information there. Hashtag educate and entertain. Danny Brasco, where are we going?
Yeah, I love where Sia was headed. Nationals against the lefty. I was playing that all week long, headed up to my vacation. It paid for about half of it because these guys simply don't strike out, and they're fantastic against lefties. All season long, top 10 in OPS over the last month, over a 105 plus weighted runs created plus, And they have a MLB's lowest strikeout rate, just 16.5%. So Garrett regressing, like Sia mentioned. I think the Nationals get to him again. I love this money line price.
All right. Really good. Hashtag next level capping right there. Take that information. Use it for yourself because every book is different. Every book is different. All right. We have a little bit of an announcement and a a little recap of what happened last night in a very apparently dangerous fantasy football league draft. We'll get to Sniper.
Nothing. I didn't do anything. I don't know what you're laughing at. I didn't do anything. Just my natural look.
After we hear from one of our incredible partners this fall.
For the people I was made for this. I was made for this. For the people I was made for this. I was made for this.
Which would be CBS Sports Network. Tonight, NC State, UConn, college football. I don't care who it is. I'm watching. All right. So we all know that kind of this next segment, gentlemen, has kind of become the segment that Buckets does what he wants. His ego is completely out of control. We know this. Couple of things. Last night we had our SportsLine Early Edge Fantasy Football Draft. I'm hosting Primetime Scoreboard with AB, Maestro, Emery Hunt. So I'm focused. And then this text comes through my phone. To everyone in the draft, I tried to make a frozen pizza and burnt my hands in the oven to the point where I need to go to urgent care. My brother is over now and is handling the rest of my draft. Hashtag Team Buckets. And then, just like they all do, everybody in the group chat is going banana. Oh my God, Buckets. Hope you're okay, Buckets. Oh my God, we got you. We're thinking about what? How about how stupid can yes?
I hope you're okay was not me. Just wanted to get that on record.
We know that. Oh my goodness. And apparently Buckets is in the chat right now and he goes, "Oh, my hands are okay. My hands are okay." Oh gosh. I just and then we get this one. There you go. Thank you, Snake. Just got back from urgent care. Glad my brother did well. Blistering and burns on the top of both hands. We'll have them bandaged for a few days. Then I should be fine.
How small is his oven? How hard is it to take a pizza out?
So it scares me to make this next announcement, Sniper, because that's a very, very valid point. So for some reason, we have agreed to allow Buckets to go to Japan. And in said country, we are going to do little videos, little things, just to kind of spread the Early Edge word all over Japan, one of my favorite countries in the world. We'll have picks here on the Early Edge and on CBS Sports HQ. If you would like to see Buckets going around Japan right here on the show, just type Japan in the chat. I just need to see Japan in the chat, and then we will move forward.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome, Danny?
I love that. Buckets in Japan. I mean, the shenanigans are endless.
Endless. But apparently he's talking in the third person now, too. Buckets takes on Japan, baby. From Buckets, who's in. Okay. All right. Well, he has renamed the segment Going the Yard. Here is what the 5 best at SportsLine look like tonight. Aaron Judge plus 200. Matt Olson plus 250 in that big game starting that series with the Dodgers. Jorge Soler plus 325. Manny Machado plus 350. And Mookie Betts plus 425. We know Soler did not play last night, so he should be fresh, Sniper, today. Where are we going?
I'm going to stick in LA. I'm going to go with my man Mookie Betts. 1 for 2 with a long double off Spencer Strider last time he saw him. Career high 36 home runs for Betts. 22 of those have come against right-handed pitching. 21 of those have come at home. He's hit 9 in August. And hey, the main thing that I'm looking at for this race between the Dodgers and Braves, or this series, in addition to the fun, is the MVP race between Mookie Betts and Ronald Acuna Jr., filtering down to Freddie Freeman and Matt Olson. So I'm looking forward to seeing Mookie step up.
Kind of the storylines within the storylines. Love that. Love that. So many more ways to look at a game, to break down a game, motivation. It all matters. Sniper, thank you very much. All right, Counselor, where are we going?
Yeah, it's filtering down to Matt Olson. Let's go to Matt Olson at plus 250 against Lance Lynn. Now, listen, on the 25th of this month, I was on Lance Lynn. We lost that first 5, and he really regressed. And we shouldn't be super surprised that he regressed. His first few starts for the Dodgers were really good. And then Boston really touched him up. 6 innings, 10 hits, 3 earned runs, only 1 strikeout, 1 walk. I think the Braves really get to Lance Lynn early, just like Sniper suggested. If the Braves are going to do anything super impactful, coming off that Colorado series, they've been on the road for a while. It's going to be early. It's going to get to Lance Lynn. I think Matt Olson is going to lead that charge.
All right. Moonshots, Danny Brasco. Moonshots is what Matt Olson hits. Who do you think is going to go hashtag the yard today?
I'm with you guys. Let's see another moonshot here, Coach. I mean, Olsen's got to be the pick against Lynn, who's given up 34 home runs this season. He has games this year where he's given up 4 in just one outing. So, against Olsen, who I feel like every time I tune into this show on a Wednesday when I'm on, I look at the recap screen, it's AB cashing 3 Matt Olsen props. I want in on the party, so give me Matt Olsen.
Last night, somebody teased him, and we were like, why would you tease somebody about always hitting those Braves tickets? Why would you not go back to the well until the well runs dry?
That works. If you're hitting something, keep going. Yeah.
Right? Keep it going. Keep it going. By the way, our girl Rebecca said, poor Japan. They have no idea what's coming.
Correct.
Mark says, oh, you're not going to like this one, Sniper. Buckets, Japanese baseball tips.
Yes.
Maybe a little KBO. Should he go to a KB? It's KBO, right?
That's Korea. MPB, Nippon
right.
Professional Baseball in Japan.
Okay.
Wow, Sniper,
right.
That was impressive.
That was
Hey, Coach, can I just tell you, because I know the early edge, correct me if I'm wrong, it started in 2020, you and the Maestro, among others.
Yep.
Well, we were hitting COVID during that time. I mean, Korean baseball.
KBO was the first
sort of
league.
overseas. That was what the subject matter was in large part, right?
Yep.
If I told you how many times I was up at 3 a.m. staring at my phone, because ESPN ran some games that year. Yeah. And so you had that game on at 2 a.m. California time where I live, and it got me through COVID. It really did. That and everything else. But sitting in your house, it was KBO. It was KBO.
Coach, it was those games that had me questioning, am I being a smart handicapper right now, or is this just straight degeneracy?
Both. Sorry, Counselor, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just going to say the other thing that was going on during those times, because we didn't have regular sports, was the Outlaw Tour. You couldn't bet on PGA Tour stuff, but you could play DFS and bet on the Outlaw Tour, which was kind of fun.
It was so funny seeing a big time PGA Tour name show up in one of those tournaments, and the first price was like $10,000 or something like that, but they were playing. All right, so we've gone the yard. We picked the underdog, but it's time for our board. And on the first day of the college football season, I could not be more excited. Do not forget, later today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, Early Edge in 5. And I would suggest you watch it because it's going away next week. There will be no more Early Edge in 5 because of all of our NFL content. So before we get to our board, one last check-in with one of our incredible partners.
Driving into the stadium, seeing everybody tailgating, I get that ready-to-go feeling.
To walk through the fan section over there and see that many people excited about football, so I'm really looking forward to it.
You get away from football for a little bit and then you start missing it, you get that itch again.
For me, that first catch is everything. Once I get one catch, I'm in the zone.
Getting back to football.
It's been too long.
We can't wait.
Can't wait.
We can't wait. We can't wait.
How dedicated am I to this product? I had a ticket. A good buddy of mine had a ticket for me next Thursday night in Arrowhead, free of charge. Coach, come on back. I turned it down. Because I love this job. All right, it's time. And there is day baseball all over the place. We've had to put PGA Tour Sia to bed. Well, we're going to bring Ryder Cup Sia out, though. We're going to bring him out. But right now, I need a laser focus on a first 5, please. Counselor, you're up first.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait to cash this ticket. I believe this game is at 10:10 Eastern Standard Time. It's not one of the few early games we've got here, but it's the Braves' first 5 money line, -140 at the Dodgers. We've kind of gone over this already, right? It's Strider versus Lynn. The one thing about the Atlanta Braves is they are, just like Sniper suggested, they are in the midst of a 3-leg road trip. This being the 3rd leg. They did just play in Colorado yesterday, which sometimes there is an adjustment issue, but this really truly is an endorsement of Strider, but a big-time fade of Lance Lynn against the Braves. Overall, Lynn, again, he's been okay, but we saw the regression that perhaps we should have been expecting last time out 6 days ago against the Boston Red Sox. He got touched up in a big way. I already went over that, and now he gets this Braves lineup. It's just too good of a lineup, and Spencer Strider has been so good. He was a little hit or miss in like mid-July, early August with some walks, and he got touched up a little bit here and there, but over the last few games against kind of poor competition, the Giants, and the Mets, he has really kind of calmed down the strikeouts. He's maintaining a ridiculous strikeout rate. And I think he's going to be okay against the Dodgers. He can allow a couple runs because the bottom line is I think Lynn allows a little bit more than that. So give me the Atlanta Braves first 5 money line -140.
Counselor Joe in the chat says Lance Lynn under 5.5 Ks is still plus money. Would you like that?
I would like that. I'm not the K prop guy, but that does sound good to me.
Yeah, but I'll listen to you.
Yeah.
You know I'm going to listen to you. All right, so a little extra bonus lean right there from the counselor. We'll have a bunch of that tonight on Primetime Scoreboard at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right smack dab in the middle of all those college football games. That's why we have Primetime Scoreboard. All right, Danny Brasco, during your little vacay, while you were recharging said batteries, we were here grinding through pay-per-views, grinding through fight nights, but I've missed you. Alas, I have missed you, and the Early Edge universe has missed you. So, in person, so I don't have to give these out and explain it myself. Floor is yours. Oh, no! Oh!
My first ever mute.
Oh!
Vacay mode. Vacay mode.
You're right. That's vacay mode.
You got a button up.
You know what? Because it's vacation. It's vacation asterisk. It comes with an asterisk.
That's what vacay mode is, Brasco.
Okay. So we're good. It's not going to cloud these picks. Coach, we got good vibes going into this card. I'm going to move right past through that. And off we go. Enchanté, UFC Paris. We're going to France for this one. And I love the vibes here because I'm riding some French fighters that are going to get it done in their hometowns. Now, we're going to start with the main event. It's Cyril Gane taking on Sergey Spivak. This is kind of it for Cyril Gane. I don't mean to be dramatic, but if he loses this fight, he's kind of moving away from that title contention fighter and into sort of maybe nowhere land in heavyweight a little bit. He has to beat a grappler. He's lost 2 title bids by being out-grappled. Once to Francis Ngannou in the 5th round, and then John Jones absolutely just mauled him, mounted guillotine submission. He's got to be able to have some grappling defense, and he gets a pure wrestler here in Sergey Spivak. I feel like Gane's footwork this time and takedown defense will be better. Maybe look for that same Sean O'Malley step back right cross angling off. I feel like that punch is live here. So I feel like Gane has a chance to get back on track here. I'm going to pick him by knockout at plus 120. Let's go to the co-main event here. Thug Rose Namajunas, former 2-time strawweight champion, is now a plus 170 underdog. Look, this is not going to be an attractive pick because her last fight was perhaps the most boring fight in UFC history that any of us have ever watched. She essentially stood in front of her opponent in a mirror, and it looked more like a shadow box than a championship fight. She lost it, and I feel like her coming into foreign soil here, taking on Manon Fiorot, another French fighter, will be good for her. Now she's the dog. She kind of has to have her back against the wall. She's got the grappling advantage in this fight, and recency bias is really affecting this line so much more. So, look, if Rose lets me down, so be it. But this line is off. I got to take Thug Rose at this price. And finally, let's go back to another Frenchman. This guy is a straight-up gangster. Benoit Saint-Denis, former French Special Forces fighter, the determination and will and toughness like you've never seen. And I think a lot of people actually underestimated his skill, including myself. Me and many MMA analysts picked against him in his last fight. His opponent underestimated him, and he rear naked choked him in the first round. Saint-Denis taking on a skilled grappler here, but Saint-Denis is a very strong and physical grappler himself. I think he can be the more damaging striker as well, and he'll get it done in front of the hometown fans with a big performance. So there's 3 UFC picks for a fun Paris card that I'm really looking forward to.
And always check in on the start time whenever they play in Europe. It's always at least 5 hours earlier. Do you know what the start time is?
I believe it's around like 9 a.m. prelim, so it's quite early. Yeah, around like 9. It's a morning / afternoon card, so tune in early.
Yeah, last week it was 5 a.m. if you wanted to watch, Holloway in that incredible card. So they're going worldwide. And by the way, for all of you going nuts over me wearing a Padres hat, do you really think I've got 50 hats sitting over here? Do you think I think about which hat I'm putting on? I just grab one and I put it on. That's it. Don't overthink it. Just like your bets. Don't overthink it. All right? Sniper, we have arrived. And even though the team you like today got beat last night, they have been a team that we've been keeping our eye on. They still are playing out the string like they have something to play for. And I like teams that are out of the playoff race that play like that. Who am I talking about?
Well, you're talking about the Washington Nationals, and that's why I didn't grab them earlier on the dog of the day. I just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit in there. But also, I wanted to highlight first, Fresco C in the chat said Buckets has the hot hand right now. That was an excellent pun. Great job on that. I do not. I'm in a bit of a cold streak, and so something I wanted to talk about is I don't know how many of you out there are blackjack players, but I assume a decent number of you. You know, when you're having kind of a mini funk when you're at the blackjack table, sometimes it's best to take your bet back all the way down to the minimum or even change tables. Some of the hottest streaks I've ever been on has been right after I change tables. So I'm in kind of a mini funk right now. I'm in a cold streak. I feel like I'm going to go change tables. But one thing you don't do, you don't change how you play, right? We know exactly how you want to play all the time. You do not change how you play based upon having a few losses. I'm going to keep playing the exact same way. And when I look at the Nationals right now, they're facing the Marlins. They're home underdogs, and they're just a better team right now. The Nationals are 28-13 since the All-Star break, while the Marlins are 13-28. The Nationals are 17-10 in August, while the Marlins are 9-17. The Marlins have a terrible offense right now, just terrible. They've got lefty Braxton Garrett on the mound, who's having a pretty good year right now. But the Nationals just saw him last week, and they beat him last week. And as Danny mentioned earlier, they rake against left-handed pitching, and he is a lefty. They hardly ever strike out. I really like the Nationals in this one, and I saw a plus 136 on DraftKings. It's around plus 130, plus 135 almost anywhere you look. So I love this one. So this is me sitting down at a different table and saying I'm going to play the exact same way, and it's going to be on the Nats.
I love that analogy because I think sometimes we forget. And right now, as we transition into our busiest time of the year, we don't address it enough to where everybody in the chat thinks that just because we're the pros and we do this on a show at a big network, that everybody wins every single game.
Everybody has cold streaks. Everybody.
There's an old saying, what do you call a bettor that wins 56% of the time? A billionaire.
Billy Walters.
It's that hard. It's that hard. So remember that. That's why we've built this community. That's why we tell you all the time we want you to play with us because we do it together. We win together and we lose together. But everybody loses. So wrap your head around that. Okay? Now, something else that has been brewing in the chat, and I'm so glad that David wrote it. David writes, why does Big Cheese have clout in here? David, he does not. It's a kind of a fake clout thing. We let him think that he has a little bit of stroke with that. But trust me, I run the chat. I run the show. But thank you for asking that question because we ask that question all the time. Still love you, Big Cheesy. Yes.
Somebody asked about the Spencer Strider 7.5 strikeout prop. Probably decent bet to get over that. The Dodgers do grind out at bats right now. The only thing is when I looked at it this morning in the 7 o'clock Eastern hour, there was a ton of juice on it. It was something like minus 160, 170, and that's over 7.5 strikeouts. Anything can happen. If he has a blister in the early innings or something could screw you out of that. So I didn't like that one because of the juice, although it's probably a decent bet that he gets over it, but it's just a lot of juice on over 7.5.
I'd almost sprinkle on the under, to be honest with you, and take a shot. If it's plus 140 or plus 150, I would.
Maybe.
I would. We'll see. But I love that. Thank you for weighing in on that. By the way, David said sniper's real. I love that guy. So do we, David. Counselor, what'd you have, big boy?
Yeah, David talked because there's a few Davids in there. He said he lived in Japan for 19 years and that he would sound the alarms that Buckets is coming. So I thought that was pretty funny. Also, if you want to engage in that Nationals play in sort of a counselor way, if you want to take the first 5 plus a half, and I'm not saying Sniper endorses this, it's not an official play for me, but the Nationals first 5 plus a half is minus 120, which makes sense, right? Because you're getting that big plus number from them. So if you want to grab the half a run first 5, that makes sense. And just one last thing, we're 7 days away, which means, of course, we're Ben DiNucci, James Madison finest, away from football season, from kickoff, otherwise known as, I guess, John Elway. You could throw him in there, maybe Michael Vick, Joe Theismann, Big Ben. But the point is, Ben DiNucci away from kickoff. Let's go.
Brasco, what do you got, big boy?
Let's add one more nugget to the Nationals. I'm playing 3 bets actually in this game. They're 69-52 against the spread as plus 1.5 home underdogs. As underdogs. So I'm playing the plus 1.5 as well at minus 120. And if we're looking for an under on K props, 16.5% strikeout rate and even better against lefties. Let's go under 4.5 strikeouts for Braxton Garrett, who only struck him out 3 times in their last start.
I will ask you a direct question. Do you want to do the work? That's how you hashtag educate and entertain. You bring something to the table. You don't just show up in the chat and say, I'm here, coach, I'm here. Although I see you, Buckets. I can't wait for Japan. All right. Now, I don't know why American Express is not working for SportsLine. I don't know. Keep trying it. DM me if it doesn't work. AB will handle it, or I'll get EC on it. I don't know why American Express isn't working on anything. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here's the recap, courtesy of the Snake, always on the ones and the twos. Nationals money line. You heard all of those reasons why we play them today, or on the run line, plus 1.5, so many different ways. K-prop as well. Then Danny Brasco, 3 big plays from USC on Saturday. Remember, it's an early start. Thank you from the chat. Noon Eastern. Noon Eastern is what the chat says is when they start overseas. So Cyril Gahn, Rose, Thug Rose, plus 170. Benoit Saint Denis. Now, in MMA betting, real quick, minus 200 is kind of our baseline that we feel comfortable giving out a straight play. Anything over that, way too juicy. But that's different than other sports. And then first 5, Sia, bringing it strong. One of just 4 games today. 4 games today. I guess Major League Baseball really respects college football, and they should, because there are 11 games today, 6 games on Friday, and a full slate on Saturday. If you have not checked out our mega football college preview, you want to do it right now. It's in your feed on the channel right now. Also, Snake is taking it to another level. If you don't want to watch the entire show, we have little bits and pieces of the show as well that we're also putting on this channel. I told you guys, we're ramping up our coverage this year. Nobody's going to be able to stay with us. Every single day we will have something, multiple shows a day, specialty days. All I can tell you is do this. Turn on your notifications. So every time we start a show, no matter when it is, you get notified. Primetime NFL shows, every single primetime game, we will have a show. Anybody else doing that? Prop show on Friday? Anybody? Tuesday mega preview? We're doing it all right here. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets. Damn, I'm fired up. Straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Lobo, Counselor, Sniper. It's great to have Danny Brasco back in the house. And the Snake always on the ones and the twos, making the show look like $1 million. Can't do without Snake. I'm simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. Is truly what we're all about. Let's go from the early edge. Good luck.